Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. Before we get into the video, make sure you like and comment if you happen to enjoy it. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. So today's video, I'm going to be putting on a little twist on the classic assumptions video. I am going to be answering your assumptions about the CRP. Now, I asked you guys to send me some things that you would like me to talk about over on my Instagram. So I'm super excited. It was quite a while ago that I asked for them, so I honestly can't remember what you guys put. The first one is, it's hard living with strangers. Yes, it is very hard to live with strangers. Imagine literally moving in and having to share a bathroom, a bedroom, an eating space with people you have never met before. To an extent, I was lucky with my roommates. Most of them were nice, but I did have a little bit of I'm gonna say an awkward situation with one of my roommates. I'm not gonna go into detail with it too much because, you know, it's old blood. It's in the past now, but yeah. The bus transport system is really hard to understand. No, I don't really think so. I probably have a picture of a timetable somewhere, so I will insert that over here for you guys to have a little look at. And no, I always thought it was quite easy. All the buses were lettered like A, B, C, D, and then you just knew that the C bus would go to Epcot, and then the actual timetable was just like a normal bus timetable. So no, everyone is really young who works in the PAV. Again, no, actually, I've said this a few times. I was always the youngest. You think that being young is like what most people would be? No, people were actually in their mid-20s to late 20s, and I was always kind of the young... Oh god. Oh no. 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 No, no, no. Get it on the PJs. Get it on the PJs. On the PJs. No. Oh god, no! Don't you just love it when you're filming and your dog decides to throw up on the floor? It's a lot of work, but it's the best year ever. Honestly, it really was the best year ever of my life, but it was probably the hardest I've ever worked in my life as well. Really is no joke being a server at Disney, seriously. I don't think they tell you that. Like, it is really difficult. On the CRP, you would be able to go to the parks on all days off without getting tired. So yes, you can go to the parks on all of your days off if you want to, but without getting tired is just... no. You are tired before you even go to the parks, and if you've been to the parks, you know how tiring park days can be. So you're tired from work and all you want to do is sleep on your day off, but you're like, no, I'm only here for 1 year of my life, so I have to go to the parks and enjoy it. And you're always grateful that you did go to the parks, but the amount of times I've been fallen asleep in the park is, yeah, it's crazy. So much alcohol. Yeah, so there is a lot of alcohol on the CRP. There is a lot of nights out that they do as a PAV collectively. I was underage, but you can still go out even though you're under 21, so I could go out and just not drink. But yeah, there is a lot of alcohol on the program. Yeah. People tend to not make friends outside of their PAV/country. So for me, this was the case. I really didn't make friends with anyone outside of the PAV or outside of the UK because, you know, I'm actually quite an introvert, which is hard to believe. I don't really like to meet new people. I find it quite difficult, but this isn't the case for everyone. I know people who were friends with people all over the world, and that was just easy for them and they just enjoyed doing that. But yeah, for me personally, I stuck to the UK. Everyone who does the program has a lot of money. So going out onto the program, not necessarily, because it costs a lot to do the program, like your flights and your fees, hotels and stuff. But when you're actually on the program and in food and beverage serving, yes, you can earn a lovely pot of money. Yeah, I'm not going to go into detail too much, but yeah, you're basically on $5 an hour, and then you get your tip, which is generally 18 to 20% of the bill, so I'll let you guys do the math. Everyone is always hungover. Yeah. 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 Not always, but generally a lot of the time, if you've ever worked a tragic Tuesday, an AM on a Tuesday, you will know the pain of being hungover. But the best thing is, in the heat, you just sweat it out. It's fine. Meow. So, okay. You only do one role in food and beverage. No, this isn't true. When you are on podium, you do a variation of different roles. These can include like seater, greeter, chippy, stocker. There is literally so many different roles, and I think that's why I loved podium so much, because every day was different. But once you go into the kitchen, yeah, you do basically only do one role. You do have the opportunity, and you will have to do food running as well, which is like a slightly different role, but generally, yes, you only do one role. It's easy to have tickets for the family to come over. Yes, it's very easy. You get given a main gate pass, so you can go into the park as many times as you want, and then you do get, I believe it's 3 guest passes where you can only let guests in, I can't remember exactly, but I want to say 14 days in a year. So if you've got your family coming over, it's like the best thing to use. You only stay in touch with people you meet on the CRP from your own country after the program. Now, like I said, I don't really have any friends from any other countries from my program. I have a few acquaintances, people that I knew briefly. No, personally, I only stay in contact with people from the UK, but I do know people that have friends from outside the UK and they still talk to them now. So I guess it just depends on the person. Vista is a dump and the party complex. Vista is the oldest apartment complex, so you can definitely tell that it is the oldest. And yeah, I have heard of a lot of parties happening at Vista. I personally never attended a party at Vista, so I can't really say for that, but I've heard it's a great time. You don't get to book any extra days off in case you invalidate your visa. No, this isn't true. You can book paid holiday, you can book unpaid days off. I would always pick up an extra shift somewhere else to do a whole day instead of a half day, and then I would have an extra day off, and that just worked for me. So no, you can take extra days off. I would take some extra days off for like holiday or just days in the parks and stuff, and that didn't invalidate my visa. It's only when it's a pattern. Every single week you are going under your, I think it's 32 hours. I assume you will apply to do another CRP whenever it comes back. You know, I've been very open to say that I would love to go back and do another program if that is an opportunity that would happen to me, but you know, with the current climate, they haven't had CRPs in the World Showcase for coming up to a year now, which is really sad. And I literally can't imagine being in Epcot in the World Showcase without CRPs, so it is crazy. I really do hope that they bring CRPs back, that the program does come back. But you know, for now I am a realist, so I don't really like to fantasize about it. In my head I'm just like, okay, if that's something that gets to happen, that's something that happens. I don't spend a lot of time thinking about it anymore like I used to, because it feels like an impossible dream. It's really sad. You have to have a certain look. Now, this is kind of true, kind of not true, because you have to have the Disney look to work for Disney, full stop. Now, this is going to be like no tattoos that are visible, only like one piercing, no crazy colored hair. This is just how the Disney look has been since the beginning of time. You don't have to look a certain way, like people look completely differently, but you know, things like the hair and the tattoos, that is strict. Disney can't bend those rules. The only thing people can do is wear like plasters to cover up tattoos. Like say if you had one here, say you had piercings, you could just take the piercing out. You know, you can bend the rules, but if I had bright pink hair, like I'd have to dye my hair. There's no way around that. You preferred podium over server, so Yes and no. I love the freedom of podium. I love that every single day was different. I love that you could do so many fun things and just go out and speak to guests and there was no pressure. But I did love being a server as well. Obviously there is the money aspect of being a server that is great, and you get to spend a lot of time with guests, which a lot of cast members don't get to do. Like if you're working on a ride, if you're a photo pass, that's like a maximum of 2 minutes you could spend with a guest. But when you're a server, you can spend like from 30 minutes to an hour with a guest, so you really get to build up a relationship, which I just loved. Working as a server has the same drawbacks as anywhere else in the world. Yes, you know, working as a server is hard work. Mentioned this earlier, and it is hard. Like you see all those memes about crying in the walk-in fridge or whatever, but you know, it's true. If you are a server, you will understand that. And people say that being a server or waitress or working in a coffee shop, working in a shop, like, is not a real job, but it is. And sometimes it's even harder than a regular job in an office, because you're balancing so many things that you wouldn't even realize that you'd have to balance. So yeah, it is really hard work, but the rewards are definitely worth it. You only get on the CRP if you have been to Disney World. No, this isn't true. I met a lot of people that going on the CRP was the first time they'd ever been to Disney World, which literally blows my mind. I can't imagine moving somewhere for a year and never have been there before. But yeah, that's not true, which is good. Everyone is really welcoming and hard-working. Yes, pretty much the whole team in the PAB is hard-working and welcoming. You know, you're all in the same boat, you're all away from your family, you've all moved away to do the same thing and make friends and all this. So yeah, everyone is really welcoming and you become like one giant family. It's great. It can be hard to juggle work and making time for yourself. Yeah, you know, like I said earlier, when you have a day off here in the UK, like a lot of the time I'll be like, I'm just gonna have a chill day today and have a bath and read my book and chillax. Whereas on the program, you don't tend to spend time doing that, because every single moment is precious. You just want to spend every single second in the parks that you physically can. And not everyone does that, but that is what I decided to do. And I even look back now and I'm like, wow, I did so much in a single year. It's actually ridiculous, but I have no regrets. It's a very tiring year. Yeah, it's exhausting. I slept on the entire way home on the 9-hour flight. I literally didn't wake up once. I just slept through the whole time, because that's how exhausted I was after a crazy, emotional, hard-working year. The costumes are difficult to work in. Yeah, you know, the skirts are very thick and the poor boys, they have to wear knee-high socks. So if you're outside, you can get very, 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 very hot. But you know, you get used to them. I literally love the costume. I would wear it again in a heartbeat. But yeah, they can be a little bit difficult in the heat. Also, when it would rain, if they got soaked, they would become so heavy and they wouldn't dry out. So yeah, they can be a little bit difficult. You spend hardly any time in Universal compared to Disney. Now, this is true to an extent. Universal is quite far away, and in an Uber it is quite expensive. It would cost like $30 to get there. If you were splitting with other people, like, it was usually fine, but if you were just going by yourself, like, that's a lot of money. Universal is definitely a different feel to Disney parks. Like, if you want thrills and roller coasters, Universal is the place to go. But if you want to have a magical and Disney time, you want to go to Disney. So it was definitely much more accessible to go to Disney, and that's probably why I would go to Disney more, especially like after shifts and stuff. But yeah, I love Universal probably as much as Disney. It can be quite a poor year spending money on Disney. Yeah, you know, I say that you can earn a lot of money, but you can also spend a lot of money too. If you want to travel, if you want to buy things like a phone, you are just chucking money out the window basically. Not everyone does this. A lot of people save as well. I think it's a good balance to save and spend money. You've got to treat yourself too, but it's really difficult to be in the parks all of the time and not buy everything. I mean, you guys have seen how many pairs of ears that I bought. It's ridiculous. And the last one is, it's expensive to get out there. Now, I can't really remember how much I paid for my flight, maybe like £300, so it's not crazy expensive. I only paid for a one-way. I know people bought a return for just a random date because it was cheaper, so that's maybe a cheaper way of doing it, but no, I don't think it was crazy expensive, and you know, it's something you just have to pay for if you're doing the program, sadly. So that concludes all of the CRP assumptions that you guys sent me. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to give it a thumbs up if you did, and I will see you guys next time. Missing someone.